guys, and welcome back to the On Sunday podcast, the happy version with me, Chris, and my smoking hot wife, and business partner, life partner, and just wonderful person in general, Rebecca. Hi, honey.
You know what's smoking hot?
Oh, we'll come back to that in a second.
Like hot chocolate you made me.
Yes, I did. I did make you that because,
Jesus.
Sorry, guys, I'm wrecking this.
Whoa.
Wrecking the studio. Welcome back, guys. If you actually did come back, because last week was pretty horrific. For us, it was just 5 minutes ago. We're just getting over it. So
We've had a strip waffle.
I just want to say, what's the lady's name again? I forgot. Anne off of the Netherlands came to our event last year and this year and brought us strip waffles. I flipping love strip waffles.
Same, so much.
So to make me feel better, I had one of them. I made Rebecca a hot chocolate from my vending machine, which is Galaxy Hot Chocolate. Is it nice?
It's too hot right now.
Too hot right now. I've had a protein yogurt, which makes my body feel better because guys don't get enough protein.
I don't get enough protein. That's why I've got a thinning patch in my hair. Not a problem I ever expected to have.
There you go. So welcome back. If you did come back to this week's pod, if you are listening, then happy days. We're talking about anxiety this week. Before we get into that, let's talk about something fun.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just want to talk about my vending machine right now.
Okay.
We've got a course going on in the training academy, which is upstairs of the offices in Unit 4. Downstairs is the staff room, has my vending machine in it. Big, massive vending machine, tons of goodies in it. And the lady across the street treats them and the staff to like a McDonald's Just Eat on a Saturday at 12:18. I just seen the guy there. Maybe we should say to him, like, McDonald's is not for you guys.
Well, we did say that once it was set up, we were going to go and tell everybody.
And
they can just come
some
in.
noodles. Make yourself a hot chocolate.
Maybe we should also have a designated day in the warehouse where we order some delicious food for everybody. Friday.
That seems to make things worse. As soon as we start doing that, people will start leaving.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not do that then.
Yeah.
You don't want to know.
You're messing with the microphone, honey. It's going to screw things up.
I know. Just trying to be comfy.
Right. You were just talking a second ago about the new house in the podcast studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it would just be great if we could just swag in our pajamas. Well, on the pajamas in the bottom. And I mean, nail order. Branded merch on the top if you're watching. Oh, God, we're both in nail order today.
Yep.
This is because we're going on holiday and we don't want to wash it. Don't want to
wear our clothes.
And it'd be great if we just had like the puppies at our feet and it was just nice.
I know, they were being
cozy.
good. And because they can't see the birds, they won't be barking.
Rebecca seems to think there's not going to be any magpies.
No. It's not that there's not going to be any birds. It's just that there's not any French doors for Bailey to bark at and he won't be able to see them.
Yeah.
So it will be silence in this new home.
In the last pod, we spoke about a cat, Lambo, and Lambo used to try and attack the birds.
And he would sit at the window and go,
yeah. So he taught Bailey this, and Bailey now thinks that's his life's mission is to chase birds.
Yes.
It's the weirdest thing. You know, like we can be in the park and Bailey will start creeping up on a bird.
Stalking
a bird. It's weird. And people just laugh at him, but people laugh at him in general. So Rebecca seems to think that this new house is not going to be birds. Is it like a no-fly zone around?
It's a no-fly zone, yeah.
Excellent.
We'll just have a great big net over the house, the ground. So
excellent.
Yeah,
excellent. I'm just thinking, right? What's the deal for seating at the new house in the podcast studio? Because we have nothing else to talk about. So
I told you what I wanted it to be, and you said no.
What was it again?
My idea was to get an IKEA daybed.
Oh, terrible idea.
Right, hear me out. Make it into a comfy sofa. We'll paint it a really nice colour. Make it into a sofa, and then it doubles up as also a bed, so that when people stay, they can sleep there.
Excellent. I need a desk.
Yeah, well, then you can have it. It's a big enough room.
No, I need a desk when I'm doing the podcast.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit across from each other.
I think we need to, honey.
No, we can
it's
just
more professional.
I don't think so. Most podcasts, they're just like sat.
What does that girl Alex do? Like she's number one.
Who?
Alex. Yeah. Alex Jones, is it? She's got a podcast, the biggest Call Her Daddy podcast.
Never heard of it.
It's like the biggest podcast in the world.
I think the biggest podcast in the world is Morbid.
Oh, of course, that's because that's what you listen to.
No, I'm sure it was like the most number one. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying. I'm sure it was. I don't think it's a podcast called Call Her Daddy though.
No, I'm sure it is.
Look at everyone's listening to us right now. Like, how do you not know what that is?
The only reason we're listening to you is because we've finished Call Her Daddy. Call Me Daddy.
Isn't there nothing worse than when you're up to date on a podcast and just having to wait for them to bring out weekly ones?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nothing worse.
Thankfully, we bring out weekly podcasts every week here at Nail on Sunday. And also, the other clowns, Saphira and Laura, have a podcast
Do you know,
called
that's
Knobs.
kind of like the podcast that I listen to, Red Handed. So they bring out like a long one and then they do a short one called Short Handed, which is like a 20 to 30 minute one.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same.
Yeah. I edit all the pods and stuff like that, and I actually quite enjoy Laura and Saphira's.
You chuckle to yourself all the time.
I do. The amount of stuff I have to cut out because they are potty mouth, especially that Laura. Saphira just looks at Laura in shock all the time. But last week they were...
Did you keep Laura burping in?
Oh, yes.
That's what you get, Laura.
And quite often, do you know what? I actually, like, when it comes to Rebecca and I now, I barely edit the pod now because we're good at it. We're good, right? When it comes to those edits, I have to like take out so much. But because I have to edit it, I start to just put like sound effects and stuff in now. It's funny.
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, honey, what have you been up to this week?
Well, still nothing very much, to be honest.
Going on holiday. While you guys are listening to this, where are we going to be? Tell the people. What's the dates? What's the dates? Right, is this going to be Halloween? Hang on, stand by. No, it's going to be the week after Halloween. It's going to be November 2nd, Day of the Dead.
We'll probably be flying back.
The Dead. Potentially. We are cut our holiday short and we are flying back. So we are sun-tanned up. Do you remember Day of the Dead? Where we
3 years ago?
3 years, yeah. We were in Mexico.
We were there for Day of the Dead and it was fantastic. What a great
Puerto
night.
Vallarta.
We had such a good night.
I know if you're ever thinking about flying to Cancun in Mexico, don't waste your time. It's terrible. I tell you, take a lie. It's okay, but it's just the Spain of Mexico.
Absolutely, it's just Benidorm of the Americas.
Fly to the other side, which isn't that far realistically. I think it's maybe an extra couple hours from the UK, and go to Puerto Vallarta, and it is beautiful.
It was fantastic. We had a really, really good time.
And
that's where we met our Canadian friends.
Yep.
Was it? No, that can't have been 3 years ago. Must have been 4 years ago. It was 2021.
Yep.
Because that's where we went to hang out before we could get into America. It was a whole thing because of COVID. Wow. Yeah.
It is a beautiful place. The culture is unreal there.
Day of the Dead was amazing. They do these parades and they have all these horses and the horses are all decorated.
But even before that, on like if you imagine like most beachy towns have like a kind of big boardwalk type thing, you know, like a
like the beachfront street
type thing. Basically, what happens is every single business or every like anything from around that kind of area, they come and they make themselves like what would you call that? Like a shrine.
Oh, the shrines, yeah.
And it could be something like proper elaborate, big massive paper mache type thing, or it could just be like a small shrine. And it's just their offering to the Day of the Dead and the people who have passed and the celebration for their life and stuff. It was
really cool to be able to witness that for sure. Very
eye opening.
We had a great time.
I think a lot of people don't understand what Day of the Dead is, and it's kind of weird. I probably went into I think I did because the Mexico Grand Prix is there every year at the same time, so they show you the culture, you know, when they're there, the warm up to the races and stuff like that. So I think I went into it with eyes wide open, but when you're there, it is unreal. It was really, really cool. The parade and everything. We had a great night that night, didn't we? We went to that club with the big swing in the front. Like, it had a great big, like a huge high up swing. Literally, it swings you like
inside and outside the club. The club's like a 24-hour type club.
Yeah, and it literally swings you from inside the club to outside, above people, then back in. Yeah,
and it's got that crazy cow on the outside. What's it called? I can't remember. Anyway, we had a really good time. We got bottles of Patron.
Yeah,
with soda water. Do you remember?
Yes. How can I forget? Two things I don't like: tequila.
You always order it.
You guys know that. And soda water. And
I thought it was actually quite fine.
Somebody ordered
I love soda water.
Patron, and then they came out with all the fireworks and stuff like that, and soda water, and they gave it to me, and I took a drink of it, and the taste and the feel of the bubbly, fizzly water,
bubblies
and bubbly water, and I said to the guys, like, could you just go get me a beer, please? Thankfully, did. Anyway, that'll do. Padded enough. So yeah, Day of the Dead, fireworks night here in the UK. Do you know what fireworks night's all about, Guy Fawkes?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Yes, obviously.
Okay. Can I tell everyone?
Is that all? He was going to blow up the Parliament?
Houses of Parliament, yeah.
Yes.
A guy called Fawkes.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Perfect.
That'll do. Let's just crack on.
Anxiety.
I can't really talk about anything other than my reaction to Rebecca's reactions.
Yes. And my anxiety has changed a lot as I've got older, I would say. So I've been medicated for anxiety since I was 17. Started on citalopram. And now I'm on sertraline. I've been on sertraline for maybe 6-7 years.
Yep.
I had a really not good GP, and he is an asshole. And he was like, yeah, I think it's time that you come off that right now. I'm like, oh, right. Okay. So he told me to come off my citalopram. Didn't give me any warnings about what might happen as I tried to come off it and what to do if certain things happened. And I turned into complete and utter psycho. I was so angry. Jennifer, who worked for us, and Chris would attest to how I was. I was not pleasant. I was just so angry, and it was awful. Anyway, so I went back on sertraline, and it's great. I think the thing is with the SSRIs is,
what's that stand for?
Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
Wow.
They are fantastic, and they save so many people, I'm sure, and they give people back their lives and their ability to go out and do things where otherwise they may have been crippled by their anxiety. And again, we're just going to quickly talk about what the difference is between having diagnosed anxiety. Again, like we talked about very briefly in the last episode, mental health is such a buzzword. Anxiety is such a buzzword. Oh, I've got anxiety. I've got terrible anxiety. It's a word that people use way out of context, because people don't. This day and age, it's just ridiculous. People do not understand the difference between a normal amount of stress and a normal amount of worry. Remember, it is normal to worry. It is normal to be scared of things. It's normal to have a level of anxiety. But there is then an abnormal level of anxiety that
is uncontrollable.
It's incontrollable. Yeah. So now mine was never super physical. Like I've always had like propanol in the backgrounds available to have, but I never really understood why I needed it, because I didn't have that visceral reaction to anxiety that I now have as I'm older. But now as I'm older, my body and my mind will react completely out of proportion to something. And I will, like Chris said in the last episode, I'll be vibrating. Like I will be visibly shaking. My teeth will be chattering. My tummy will be going. Literally feels like just my bottom's falling out, quite honestly.
I will say though that, again, everything is proportionate. And the things that affect you now are like so much worse. Like for instance, the things, these triggers, you know, I can't go into the pod, guys, because, well, just can't. But these things are like horrific, you know. Again,
well, they're not horrific.
Okay, everything's proportionate.
They are things to be concerned about. But I do react in a improportionate way. It's not the end of the world. Nobody's dying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is improportionate, and my body just goes absolutely crazy. I feel like because of the SSRIs, mentally, I'm so much more on top of it. And I said this to a few people at the event, actually. Like, I felt like mentally I didn't have anxiety at the event, but my body felt like it did. And my body felt like it was like after an anxiety sort of come down, you know, when you have that rush of adrenaline and you just feel so like drained and unwell afterwards.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like my anxiety's changed as I've got older, is I feel like my body and my mind aren't completely connected anymore. That probably is a lot because I'm a lot more numb, and that is what SSRIs will do to you. They will give you that level of numbness, but I am now completely content with living with that, because living with the alternative is just not an option for me.
I think that's something that it's taken you a while to get on top of, and I think the only way you have got on top of understanding that is by viewing others who are on medication and maybe not so much. Does that make sense?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I would love to talk about everybody else who works for us, but I don't think that's
fair. No, because they're not here to consent to that.
Yeah. Some other people who work with us do suffer from anxiety and stuff, and are
take
medicated.
medication, yeah.
And they have maybe been on it, maybe been off it, and
we've seen such differences in them.
Yeah.
And like one of them in particular that I'm thinking of has really, like me, and a lot younger than me, I would say, come to the conclusion that no, that is how I have to be. And it doesn't come without side effects. Like, you are aware that you have a level of numbness to your emotions that other people don't have. So you know that that's unnatural. And then sexually as well, it's a big problem, which can cause issues within relationships and things like that, because it essentially completely eradicates any sex drive that you ever had. So that's not great.
That's something that we never discussed. We when you change your medication, it's something we didn't discuss. And I thought you just went off me.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Until eventually it was the understanding, oh, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to just constantly just pester you, just like constantly go around humping your leg.
No.
And I think, I'm just going to be honest in the pod, I think we have a great love life. You know?
Yeah, I think, I'd say better than average.
Better than average people who don't.
But I have to be hyper aware of my lack of feeling.
Yeah.
And that is what I will say to people, like, be in a God, this is like so off topic. Again, it's nothing to do with nails, but it will all come back around to business. It will, I promise. In a relationship, you make a promise to each other, right? And a lot of the difference between being in a relationship over being in a friendship is, quite honestly, the sex, right? Yeah. Because what much else is there? Okay, love, but again, part of that is sex, because you can love your friend, but you're not going to have sex with your friend. So when you enter into a relationship with someone, you have these unspoken rules, I guess, or promises that you're really making to each other, to be there for each other, to support each other, love each other, be there in good times and bad times. But also part of it is a sexual relationship. So whether you're a guy or whether you're a girl who's listening to this, and for whatever reason, maybe medication, maybe you're on SSRI and you've lost your libido, I do still think it is really important to be aware of, I don't want to say obligation because that's absolutely the wrong word, but I think that's a great word, and please don't think it is an obligation, but there is a mutual understanding. It's a understanding, an agreement.
For instance, we don't have a mutual understanding or agreement that I always take the bins out. But that's my job, and that's what I do. Up until last week, when I was in bed and I said to Rebecca, God damn, I forgot to take the bin out at night time. I'll take it out in the morning. But I woke up, magically, the little elves had taken it out.
Because I went for the last dog walk, so I took it out. But yeah, it's an understanding. There's everybody, you've all got your roles to play, and things should be very, very equal. But it is important to remember. And I think that it's maybe it's a hard thing to say, or a hard thing to think or come to terms with, but I do feel like I have an obligation as a wife or a partner to Chris or whoever it was to ensure that I'm upholding that part of the agreement. So you do need to think to yourself, right, no, okay, you need to go through these emotions, these motions. Yeah. And obviously in the end it's great, but you maybe don't have the fuel.
You don't have the spark, you have the boom.
Yeah, you don't have the fuel to light the fire. You need to force it. Do you know what I mean?
You force it. Or you just need someone like me who just gets you going.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yep. So that was a very candid moment, and I hope you guys appreciate that. But yeah, so SSRIs in general, they are very, very numbing, but for me, I think they are fantastic, and I think for so many people out there, what I will say is when I was doing brows, and looking at all of my customers, every single time they saw me, they filled in a health questionnaire, consultation form, and it was the medication that I saw. I would say 8 out of 10 customers are sertraline or citalopram. Obviously now you've got like fluoxetine and stuff like that. And as I understand it, I think fluoxetine is slightly better in terms of libido, not one that I've ever tried. So I can't attest to it, although I know somebody who works here does take it and they got on really, really well with it. But it should definitely not be anything to be ashamed of, for sure. Would I love a world where I didn't have to be on them? Absolutely. Does that world exist? Doesn't for me.
And I think that's something that you and I didn't really ever discuss, was your medication. And I think that's probably part of my fault because I never asked about it. It's just the motions you went through. And again, sometimes this is a thing. Sometimes you just go through emotions. You don't really discuss it with anyone else because it's affecting you, and you think to yourself, I just have to take these medications,
So a doctor once pitched it to me because I said years ago, I think my mum had said, oh, maybe you shouldn't be on them forever. Because that's been taking them for 20 years now. So I said to a doctor some years ago, oh, should I be thinking about coming off? I think it was citalopram at the time. And she says, well, I've got an underactive thyroid. She says, would you come off your thyroxine? I said, well, no, because my body needs it. And she said, well, yeah, your body needs this. And that is the difference between somebody who has genuine diagnosed anxiety and somebody who's just using anxiety for it to be a buzzword, is that your brain has a chemical imbalance. And that's all that is doing. That the SSRI is helping that chemical imbalance.
It's like if you're diabetic, you need
you
the
took
insulin.
the words out my
Sorry,
mouth.
honey. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just like that. Okay, it's not life threatening, but I mean, let's be honest, mental health conditions can be life threatening.
Yeah, as we discussed in the last episode.
So if you are imbalanced hormonally or chemically or whatever it is, you need a medication to counteract that. And that's all it is. So you should never be ashamed about it. Obviously, the ideal is that we're on as low doses as we can get away with so that we aren't too numb. Because remember, there's a reason that we have that fight or flight feeling. There's a reason that we get the worry and the anxiety because our body and our mind is trying to protect us from a danger.
Of course.
You know, so it's natural to have those feelings. And I think the best way with anxiety is to try and take a really logical approach to it as best as you can, because anxiety is completely illogical. And Chris will say to me, and you still say to me to this day, why are you getting yourself like that? But there's nothing to worry about. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Everything's going to be okay. Why are you doing that? I cannot control it. I have no control. And I can even, my brain can be going, everything's going to be fine. But my body is going, it's absolutely not. It's absolutely not. So just trying to look at it in a really logical way that you just have an imbalance and don't let the anxiety win. And this is where it's going to come round to nails and business.
For me, I struggle because Rebecca's illogical anxiety can take forms that make no sense.
Make no sense. So I think I can very easily, probably because of the sertraline, not worry about something that I should definitely be worrying about.
And that's what I don't get.
Mm-hmm. But then, on like the flip of a dime, be worrying about the wallpaper falling off the wall to a point where I will have a panic attack. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's completely illogical. There's no rhyme nor reason to it.
There's things that I worry about, and I'm thinking, well, if I'm worrying about it, everybody else should. Rebecca doesn't care. Doesn't care. She's got an answer for it, and she doesn't care. And there's something else, I'm like, honey, but it's just going to pass in a week. And she's like, I don't care. Her body's shaking, you know? And for me as a partner, I obviously don't ever want to see you worry about anything because I always think I can fix it, but I can't fix it.
You can't fix it.
I can't.
You can't. There's no point in trying to. You're just best not saying things like, why are you worrying about it? That's stupid, because I know it's stupid, but I cannot control it. I feel like these days I have a problem with adrenaline. I have a problem with adrenaline. It has really changed, like especially in the last year.
This is what I was trying to get to begin with, honey. I feel like right now it's like you are pretty good for a lot of things. There's things that like
actually seeing a crisis. Or an emergency. I'm really good.
No, but I feel like
calm.
When you do the shaking thing, it is that is something you should really be worried about. You know, it really is.
It's like, for a perfect example is at the event, going up on stage, talking to people, not a single nerve, not a shake, don't care, absolutely fine. But then other things, I will be like a trembling mess.
Yeah. But I mean, these are quite extreme things. And I think it's, as you go through business, especially where we're at just now with nail order, like I feel like we're constantly under attack.
Yes, you are. But somebody said to me recently, the more successful you are, the more that's going to happen.
People want to take you down.
People get jealous, or they get mad, or they want to take you down for whatever reason. And at the end of the day, we are just out here trying our very, very best, and honestly trying to be the best people that we can be. Are we going to make mistakes? Absolutely. Have we made mistakes? Absolutely. But we are genuine, and we are genuinely trying our very, very best. So I hate the fact that people are like that. And to me, it says a lot more about those people than it says about us. Because I can go to bed at night knowing that I have actually done my best for people. That was a little bit off topic.
Very.
A little bit.
Very.
Woo! But no, I do think I have a problem with adrenaline. And I want to do some research into this because I feel like my body is like giving out way too much adrenaline for silly reasons.
So let's think about something. Let's think about a parachute jump.
I was about to say that.
She's doing a surprise face for everybody.
I was about, like, as you said that, what was in my mind was skydiving.
Well, I just think, what would it be like with you? Would you be like absolutely calm, or would you be trembling? Because I know, like, I have a healthy fear of heights, but I also have a terrible fear of falling. And parachute jumping is falling. I used to fly planes. It was excellent. When you got into slow flight and you were doing tips, I was like, oh, I'm going to die.
I'd probably have the exact same reaction as you, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's weird. And I'll be honest with you, I think Rebecca...
Sometimes I feel psychopathic. Sometimes I do.
Rebecca is quite brave, and I think that's because your dad used to force you to do these things. I remember we were in the Bahamas years ago, and your parents were there, Millen was there, and there was that massive, what was it, 110 foot
the
slide.
death drop slide through the sharks.
So you slide,
It's like a 90-degree drop.
You slide,
right?
Yeah, not 90 because that would be wild.
That's like, so it was straight down.
Pretty much. 110 feet, and then you slide into a tube, and the tube takes you through the water, and the sharks everywhere, right? You've probably seen it on like movies and stuff like that.
It's at Atlantis.
Yeah. And your dad was like, yes, let's all go do it. So because he's doing it, like, I feel like, oh, right, okay, sure. I'm not the best swimmer in the world, but I can obviously swim, right? I'm like, sure. My son's with us, and at the time he was like 12?
11?
11, 12.
11 or 12, yeah.
And he's like, sure, I'll do it, because the kids sometimes have no fear, right? Rebecca and her sister were like, oh, sure, we're doing it if Dad's doing it because Dad's going to make us do it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Your other sister, she can get away with it.
I know,
And
I
your
don't know
mum, they have a rational fear. Dad's like, don't worry, they shan't do it. They'll take the videos. Everybody knows their place in the world, right? We get to the top of this thing. I'm trembling a little bit because it's big. 110 feet.
It was scary.
Big, right? The thing that made me think to myself, if she can do it, I can do it.
Was it the 4-year-old?
The 4-year-old girl, right? This is how psychopathic this poor girl's family.
This was wild. We were all like, what the hell?
So there's a mum, a dad, and a little girl.
No, I think maybe another kid. I don't know.
Anyway,
Who knows?
they all go
And left.
and
her.
left the 4-year-old.
And
right?
she was just on her own at the top of the slide. And there was a big queue, obviously.
Yeah.
And she was obviously really scared.
Yeah, and the guy who's like encouraging everyone to go down, he's encouraging her, right? And she's like, okay, but she's screaming. And she's like, okay, screaming, right? And you know when you get to the edge and you're just about to fall off? She did that, but then reached up and held on.
She was hanging over the
And the water's quite, the water comes to like encourage you down. She's basically like screaming, and I'm like, oh my God.
She was literally hanging. And we
Yeah.
were watching this like, oh my God.
And luckily, basically, our little fingers couldn't hold on for too long because we were all waiting in line. I'm like, as much as this is fun, I need to go.
We were... Sorry, Karen.
She eventually let go, and she was fine.
She did.
And we all did it, and we were fine.
And my mum and my other sister did not. But I was very much brought up in a way where you saying that I can't do something or I'm too scared to do something was not an excuse. You just had to do it. And okay, there's probably a certain level of trauma involved with that level of parenting. But as a result, it does make a relatively, and again, Lottie got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now look at Lottie compared to me. No offense, Lottie, if you're listening. She's a lot more scaredy than I am. I'm pretty resilient in terms of I don't have any fears except for one, and I will tell you what it is. It is birds in enclosed spaces. So a couple of times I saw a magpie coming out of Unit 6 the other day.
Yeah.
Birds make it into the warehouse. That is my fear. Weirdest thing. But in terms of anything else, I'm just not scared. Like, I can remember we went to Alton Towers, and it was when what's the ride called? Nemesis and Oblivion were the big thing, right? They were the big thing. They were really scary. And I must have been...
For people who don't know, Alton Towers is like a theme park here in the UK.
Yeah. And they were the scariest rides at the time. Oblivion was relatively new, and it was like, don't look down. And then you just fall into this hole. And we went to Alton Towers. I must have been 10 or 11. And I was too scared to go on them. And my dad paid me to go. He said he'd give me a tenner for each one or 30 quid if I went on both.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, a business opportunity. Sure, I'll do it.
And Rebecca says she wasn't born to be an entrepreneur. Sure.
But yeah, something that really, really upsets me is when I see people letting the anxiety win, not going to work,
Yes.
or not doing something in business because they're scared, and it is a big problem these days. I think the very, very, and this is coming from somebody who has really bad anxiety and has, as I said, been medicated for 20 years. Have I ever not gone to work because of my anxiety?
Absolutely not.
Have I ever not done anything because of my anxiety?
I mean, you tremble for a little bit and then you go on with
I
it.
tremble, but I do it.
Yeah.
And I just do it because if I don't do that, I'm letting the anxiety win.
Yeah.
You cannot do that because, again, as hard as it is, it's really important to be logical and remember that your body is having an illogical reaction, or your mind is having an illogical reaction to something. And don't let it win.
So let's, as you can see, you're segueing back to business and we're not just talking about personal life. Thank God, because I hate talking about personal life. What are some of the scenarios? Right? So say, for instance, you're in Nailtech. Mm-hmm. You're listening to the show as you listen every single week, and you're thinking to yourself, actually, these are the things that keep me awake at night. What are the things that would keep you awake at night as a Nailtech, and how can you start to combat them?
Oh gosh, things My problem, I can easily be kept awake by things at night, just overthinking things. Like, actually, a lot of times when I'm kept awake at night is because I have an idea.
Yes.
And I'm overthinking that idea. I know you do that too. But something that you've got to realize what works for you. And I know, and I've only recently worked this out, and I've said that to you, especially because on holiday I struggle with sleeping. And what I do is when I go to bed, I'll watch a couple of episodes of something on my iPad or Netflix or YouTube or whatever it is. And I need that time to be able to zone out and think about somebody else's problems and not my own. Do you know what I mean? Well, not somebody else's problems, just think about something else.
Take your mind away from your current situation.
Another top tip for when you're overthinking, you can't sleep, is write it down in your notes. Write everything down. Because sometimes I think what's keeping you awake is almost like the worry of forgetting what you're thinking about in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Or worrying, I think just writing it all down, that really helps me.
When I said keeping you awake at night, I didn't actually mean it physically. I'm glad you went on to that. But I'll touch on something that I was listening to in a podcast recently. And maybe we were actually listening to it in the same podcast. If you are really worried about something, and it's a sequence of events or a situation or something, start to write down all of the things, like categorically, that you're worried about. I don't know. Say, for instance, there's a bar mitzvah coming up and your ex is going to be there. Write down all these things. It's a bar mitzvah. You don't know what a bar mitzvah is. You're not Jewish. Your ex is going to be there. The ex's new partner is going to be there. The ex's mum and dad are going to be there. And all these things, right? And then start to score off all the things that you physically cannot control. You cannot control the fact that your ex is going to be there, and his girlfriend's going to be there, and his parents are going to be there. But you don't know what bar mitzvah is. But you can go learn about it. So put a check at that and go learn about it. And that just arms you a couple of new things or something that reduces that stress, that anxiety. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I think as a nail technician, right, this is probably a really good example of something that, a scenario that if you're somebody with anxiety, this is where you could lead to. Because I think anxiety is almost like sometimes a bit of like a level of paranoia. Do you know what I mean? So let's just imagine that you are a nail technician and you have had a bad interaction with a client during the week.
Yes.
Say you've got a client, they were a new client and they were really nasty. They've left a bad review or something like that. And you're already like on edge about that and like anxious about it. Combine that with the fact that, let's say it's October and there is absolutely no business and you're dead quiet.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're like, well, that's it. Everybody hates me. My business is dead. And that's, I'm just going to have to pack up. If I had £1 for every single time that I had thought that,
oh my God.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking it right now. Those thoughts are in my head, literally at this point in time.
Last week we had the one bad day, and it happened.
No, it's quiet. Right now.
It is quiet, but the thing is, proportionally, it's not that quiet.
It's the same quiet that everybody else has experienced. All I'm seeing is nail techs talking about how quiet they are, how many no-shows they've had. All I see are brands doing crazy deals, crazy sales. So I know that everybody is in the exact same boat. I
was even saying this to you last night. Right now, we are recording this on Saturday, 18th of October. Here in the UK, it's 3 weeks from Guy Fawkes Night, where we have tons of fireworks, and lots of shops have fireworks on sale. Normally, you hear, especially at the weekend, fireworks going off, because these crazy kids buy them and they set them off, or these young adults and stuff. You're not hearing them just now because there's not that level of money going around.
I know.
So
everybody's complaining about it.
And it's that weird paradox. Like, if people are not wasting their money on fireworks because literally it's just going up in smoke, they're probably not wasting, or they're probably not spending it on other things, And I think everyone's quiet. Even somebody said to me the other day, even the roads are quiet.
They are though. But see, the logical half of my brain knows all of this and understands this. The illogical part of my brain is combining it with all of the other bad things that have happened over the last few weeks. And then I'm like, well, that's it. Everybody hates us. Yeah. That's it. We're doomed. We're done. That's it.
Nail order's finished.
That's it. Everybody hates us.
That's how we're going to clip this one up. Nail order's finished.
I have literally thought that so many times in my life.
Think about it when you had the salon. How many times has it got to this time of year? And you're like,
so many times.
And the thing is, Rebecca will always bring it back to something else. Oh, that staff member left 2 months ago. So that's obviously what it is. She's taken every single client we've ever had.
And it would always take somebody else. In the salon, it would always be Jennifer. Mm-hmm. And she would be like, Rebecca,
this happens every year.
We literally, you've been through this a million times before.
Now think about the other things that happen in October, right? So the kids are not long back at school here in the UK in August.
The kids are, yeah.
So as a parent, you've shelled out new school uniforms, etc. You're finally getting back on your feet, and all of a sudden it's the October 2 weeks here in the UK.
Well, I was speaking to Lucy about this the other day because I was saying, like, Lucy and I from Lucy Pastrello, our friendship is at a level where we can be completely honest about like the earnings of the business, which is so refreshing and wonderful.
So refreshing,
isn't it, to have a relationship like that where you can be so completely honest? Because in business they don't come up very often. More often than not, people just like exaggerate and lie. And we've always been like, oh right, okay. So then we're left feeling like, oh okay, maybe it's just us. So I'd said to her, what your sales been like? And she's like, absolutely shite, pretty much. But she was saying about, the kids being off and then Halloween. She said the thing is with Halloween these days is it's kind of like Christmas. Like people go absolutely mental. Like they pay so much money for their kids getting dressed up. They have parties, the decorations, like the trick-or-treating gifts. It's absolutely crazy.
In our estate that we're leaving, and I cannot bloody wait, the amount of money that some of these people spend on decorations.
Crazy, right?
I think to myself, Jesus crikey. It must be like £1,000 a
I was speaking to BJ about this the other day. Was it me and Sam that were speaking about it? Yeah, it was. And we were saying how this is all very, very new in the UK because BJ's from America. And obviously that's where all of this comes from. And in America, it's always been big. Think back to...
E.T.
No, Hocus Pocus.
Same. Yeah, E.T. was before that.
That movie has got to be 30 years old.
Yeah, easy.
Right? And how big was Halloween in that movie?
Yeah, huge.
It's huge. Huge. So what we're trying to say to BJ, it was never like that here. Like we didn't have decorations. Yes, we'd dress up, but it was a very minor thing. More often than not, you'd grab whatever was in the dressing up box. I was a witch every single year. And you'd get a wee sweetie. Mm-hmm. And then that was it. Do you know what I mean? It was
trick-or-treating and stuff. Yeah. Now kids don't really go trick-or-treating. They just go to like parties and stuff like that, which I guess is a little bit safer. It's kind of wild, but still safer. But
we buy sweets every single year, and every single year they don't come because we know that one year,
of course,
that we don't buy sweets, they'll come. We live in a little like weird, like tiny offshoot off the estate where there's 5 houses, but there's no children that live in those houses. So
a lot of the other kids just either run by our little section.
I do kind of like that though, now that parents are doing that, where they kind of only go to houses that have decorations or where they know that other kids
decorations and lights on, so we switch all the lights off. It's weird. It's weird they don't come to our house.
We muzzle Bailey so he can't bark.
Oh God, what was I going to say again? I remembered that, then I lost it. I remember. Oh, costumes, right? Mm-hmm. So Rebecca and I are away during Halloween on this cruise ship, and I said to Rebecca, we should dress up because everybody else is gonna, and you'll feel kind of out of place. Rebecca and I don't like that type of thing.
I hate dressing up. I hate it.
Now, Rafi, if you're listening, you big hunk of burning love, gave me a great idea. He said, because we're going to Miami before it, it was Tubbs and Curly or something from Miami Vice. And I was like, that's a great idea for a costume, right? I went on to look at Miami Vice costumes. There's no such thing. It's just a double-breasted suit. But I was looking at other costumes, and like for guys' costumes, start at 50 quid. Start.
What type of costume is this?
It was a shell suit.
Wow.
Yeah. I was thinking, that's pretty good for a shell suit. But like I was scrolling through other ones, like Superman and stuff like that, Batman, all these things. 100 quid, 120 quid. The more muscles you want, 200 quid, stuff like that. And I just think to myself, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
Sure.
And you and I don't spend money on tat.
No, we don't.
How did we get onto Halloween? No idea. There's no money. There's no money
right now. But yeah, so that's like when you have anxiety, you'll be like, oh my God, one thing will lead to another, and it just takes one other thing to tip you over the edge. And now, everything's going wrong.
Yeah.
I can remember like last year, was it niche last year? Not this year, last year. I can remember saying, because I was going through some hard things, I was like, I just don't ever see a world where I can be happy again.
Really? To who? Who did you say that to?
Lucy.
Oh, wow.
I'll need to beat this out, but it was when we were...
Oh, yeah.
I just don't see a world where I can ever be happy again.
And I hate to say it, right? I'm just going to say one thing. Now, we had to go through that situation for a year,
yeah.
And it was horrific and costly. Do you care about it now?
No.
Have you learned from it?
Sure.
Oh wow! Because I think I learned a lot from that.
No, I have learned a lot, and that.
See this Call Me Daddy podcast we're talking about before. This is the way the girl sits with her legs open like that. That's her, isn't it? Alex, whatever her name is.
I don't know.
whatever. Can you pull your microphone up to your mouth? Pump it up.
That's it. It's pointing right out my mouth.
Okay.
Yeah. And that is the thing with Chris and I. We are not grudge holders. We don't do things out of spite, and we're not grudge holders. Do you know why? What a pointless use of our energy that is. Like, you cannot be doing anything good with your life if you're just sitting thinking about.
But this is what I always say, honey. It's like
how angry you are at something else.
This is what I always say. It's like they have nothing else going on in their life, you know?
I know.
And I'll be honest with you. I can barely hold a conversation. You've seen me, like, in the last few weeks with this podcast, the amount of times I've had an idea and Rebecca will say one sentence and that idea has gone out my head. That is the way my brain is just now, you know? So being able to think about something that happened a couple of weeks ago, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some things, but for the most part, it's like you move on so quickly.
I know.
Especially in this fast-paced industry we're in just now.
Yeah. And also things lose their power the more time
goes on,
don't they?
But the more times it happens, that also loses its power.
It does, because it's like exposure therapy.
Yeah.
You know, and that is the other thing, like trying to expose yourself as much as you can to these situations that cause you stress.
When it comes to being a nail tech, and I'm trying to haul it back round, I think doing your first client must be quite horrific.
Oh, yeah, for
sure. And the first few clients.
Yeah.
And then the first time you have like an issue.
Yeah.
I remember like sometimes like acrylic knot setting back in the days, you used to go wild. You know, it'd be too warm in the summer, too cold in the winter.
So it's funny, I've been talking to Anna recently, and I don't think she'll mind me saying. So Anna, who works for us, she is a wax specialist. So she is super experienced in waxing, and that is her business. Now she'll offer like brow wax and tint and stuff on the side. And she is qualified in everything because she did beauty therapy. So she is qualified in nails, she's qualified in like lash lifts and brow lamination and stuff like that. But she just like gets too anxious to do it and to charge somebody for it. And we were speaking about this recently, and I said, do you know why that is? Like the reason is, she's like, with waxing, I'm just like so confident. Well, not only is it because she does it more. I was like, you know, the difference with waxing is it's a sure thing.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. You get good waxers and bad waxers, and a lot of that comes down to the experience. But when you break it right down, you're either leaving hair or you're not leaving hair.
Yeah.
And as long as you have removed all the hair that somebody has paid you to remove,
bingo,
then it's a sure thing, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when it comes to nails, where there is a creative element and a personal preference element, when it comes to lash extensions, where there's, again, a creative and a personal preference element, and then lash lifts, where there is a chemical element, and it very much depends on how that person's body or the hairs are going to react to it, and also their expectations. Then
I think customer expectations is the biggest thing.
So that's what I was saying to her, it's expectation. You're going to, a customer's coming to you, and they're expecting you to remove all that hair. As long as you've done that, you have fulfilled their expectations.
Yeah, easy.
However, with a lash lift, if it doesn't go, and that's the thing with like a lash lift, is it's so subjective and it's so dependent on the individual. Yeah, that's what it is. That's the difference.
I remember when you used to do them back in the day, and sometimes you guys would be like, oh God, this new, or especially not so much you, but the girls especially be like, this new stuff you've got is terrible. Well,
I remember...
was it Elabana or something?
So we went through LVL to Elabana to Airlift. LVL we loved, and they were like the OGs. That's who I did my training with, and they were fantastic. There wasn't really any other alternatives. Now, don't get me wrong, lash perming has been around for a long time, but in terms of the ones that you were known specifically for lash lift and was like the one to use was LVL. There wasn't anyone else. Then they changed their packaging. If you know, you know. They changed their packaging, and everybody thinks that they changed their formula at the same time, and it just went to crap. And then we were like, right, we're going to have to find a new.
Quite often, if you change your packaging, you probably change supplier. Probably. Back in those
days. Possibly.
Because a lot of it was sachets, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was originally sachets, and then it went to these weird, like these things? What are they called?
Blister packs.
Blister packs, that's one.
For anyone you don't know, she was holding up a tub of Gaviscon.
I've come off my omeprazole, which I've been on for a long time, so I'm having terrible reflux, but I want to protect my brain. Anywho.
She's beautiful, isn't she, guys? Such a catch.
Such a catch between my bald patch, my acid reflux, my goblin toes. This is really, really good. My generally furry body at this point.
Do you see this limbo before you go on holiday?
So
It's
sexy.
like everyone's like the hairiest they've ever been, you know?
And this is why you should, as a beauty therapist or a nail technician, you should never be super glam at your work, because your clients are often at how they feel they're least attractive when they come to you.
Yeah.
So what they don't
They
want to be
probably have
presented with.
anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so LVL was no good anymore for us. I've not used that in years, so I don't know if that's maybe changed now. And then we went to Elabana, and then ultimately we went on to Airlift. I liked it had some unique things about it.
I'm not talking about lashes, honey. I'm just talking about the situation. Holy smokes. Focus, women. Focus. Hocus pocus and focus, would you?
But yes, it's really easy to have anxiety about treatments, and it's going to be different levels of anxiety depending on the treatment that you're doing. Now, try and be logical about it. You're doing nails. It is not rocket science, and it is not permanent. They can come off, right? Yes, somebody can have an allergy. Yes, somebody could get an infection. All these things are possible. The chances, very, very small. So let's just be rational as we can. You go way up the list, and probably at the very, very, very top of the very scariest thing that you can do is
tattooing somebody's face.
Tattooing somebody's face.
So what do you give the lady with anxiety to do?
Tattooing somebody's face. And I can remember going to the doctor several times and saying, yeah, I probably do the wrong job for somebody with really bad anxiety. Because not only are you tattooing their face, you're tattooing, hopefully, symmetrically.
Yeah. And people's faces are not symmetrical.
They are not. But I think that did teach me a lot about how to deal with things. But I can also remember times where I had really bad interactions with people, and I was left feeling really, really anxious, and like I couldn't do this, but I didn't want to give it the power. There was that one customer when we were still downstairs, and I've talked about this on the pod before, and it was back and forth, and ultimately it was like, look, I don't think I'm the person for you. I was like, no, it's fine. And I got myself in such a state, but I knew if I didn't do it, then I was probably going to struggle to do brows ever again. So I was like, I'm just going to push through. You know, don't give it that power. But ultimately, you got to do things that are hard. And do you know what? If you do something that feels really, really difficult to you and it's not what you want to do, you're going to feel so accomplished afterwards.
Karen, go for it.
What?
What's the saying? Karen? I
don't know. The future you.
Yeah.
The future you will thank the current you, right? This is going to sound really, really stupid, but on a personal level, one of the hardest things that I have ever done is have an endoscopy without sedation. I've done it twice. Now, most people get sedation. The vast majority get sedation. But when you get sedation, you can't do anything the rest of the day. I need to go back to work. Life needs to continue. So incredibly difficult to not freak the fudge out and pull the tube out, because it's so unnatural to have a great big, and then it's not a tiny little thin thing. They're like that, like down your throat. Horrific. But afterwards, I was so proud. I think I was disproportionately proud of myself, but I felt so proud and so good that I was like, I did that. I can't believe I did that. I'd be so proud.
But there's so many times that it is disproportionate, because it does mean so much more to you than it does
it means
to anyone
nothing
else.
to anybody else. But
Yeah.
to me, I'm like, I did something that was really, really incredibly difficult from a human level, was completely unnatural. But it's the same in business. Like, again, you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do, but nobody ever made anything of themselves. One, without taking a risk, and two, without doing something that they really didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And being uncomfortable. Comfort is the killer of dreams.
Absolutely.
And it is. Even if that killer has 3 L's in it.
If you know.
If you know, you know. But it is.
That's something Rebecca and I
seek discomfort. We watch people on all these people on YouTube. Yeah. One of them is this channel called Yes Theory, and their slogan is seek discomfort. And essentially what it comes down to is seeking discomfort and putting yourself out there, whilst it's really uncomfortable in the moment, is probably going to benefit you
no end
in the end up.
What you might find from that is you either gain lifelong friendships. I'll be honest with you, I don't really like speaking to people. I don't. And I remember in Mexico, I was in the pool by myself. Rebecca was away doing something, and there was this Canadian couple. And I was like, hi, how you doing? And they're like, all right, mate. And we just started having a conversation. I never have a conversation with anyone. Started talking to them, lifelong friends.
Yep. Same with the Americans.
Yeah.
You know, we were forced to hold hands under the sea.
Not like Sebastian and Ariel. We were in these underwater scooters, and we get separated. Rebecca and I get separated and get put with this other couple, but we were separated. So I was holding Christine's hand, she was holding David's hand. The guy just taking pictures. We're like, what is going on here? Kind of weird.
10 years later, 11 years later.
Still friends.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, again, putting yourself into these uncomfortable situations. I'll be honest with you, I think I spoke about this before. if I've got like an event coming up to, I usually go on a bit of a crump the week before it, and it's usually just the way my body reacts.
Just a bit of anxiety.
Yeah, a bit of anxiety, a bit of emotion, you know. I'm trying to get better at it because I always think to myself, well, what's the worst that can happen, you know? And you check off the things that are really, really bad. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, you may make some new friends. Oh, that's pretty bad.
But that's the difference between genuine anxiety is the worst that can happen when you have...
But see, I think, see when you can rationalise the worst things that can happen, that is just worry. When you cannot rationalise it, I think that's anxiety.
Oh, when what you're saying, the worst thing that can happen is like really ridiculous things that are really not likely at all. Yeah, that is anxiety. But my biggest message to people is do not let it win. Don't give it power. All these emotions and feelings only have as much power as you give them.
I think some things that we are very unique to is we just go with the flow with a lot of things. And with business, it usually just grows arms and legs and runs away with
People
itself.
go like, oh, so what is your forecast for 2026? And we're like, I don't know.
We just have targets in our head.
Is it?
But it's like, see, taking on like one warehouse, that can be quite a daunting thing. But then within a couple of years, just taking on another warehouse and then another warehouse and then filling it up with people and filling it up with staff and filling it up with like products and filling it up with, you know, stuff. It just comes natural, you know, and you shouldn't be worried about it. Well, most people would be flipping worried about it, you know. If you're in business just now, just go with the flow. Do the things that feel natural and right. Imagine everything's like a wave and all of a sudden you can surf, you know. If it feels good to go with that flow, go for it. If it feels like you're going to get bitten by a shark, go find another wage.
Sometimes you do need to... And do you know what? What you said just there is absolutely paramount. Not everybody is built to be an entrepreneur or built to be self-employed. And that is not saying anything against a person or taking anything away from them. We are all built very, very differently. It's the same way that I'm not a great employee in terms that I always think that I'm right. I'm a great employee in that I'll always turn up and I'll always do my very, very best. But I'm not a great employee in terms of I'll always think that I'm right. But in the same breath, not everybody is made for being an entrepreneur. And so many people out there go out and they're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to be self-employed now. I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. But they're not willing to make the sacrifices.
Yeah. If that's the case, just go to work. Go to work for somebody else.
Like me and my sister are the two perfect prime examples of somebody who is made for employment and somebody who's made for self-employment.
Yeah, 100%.
Lottie and I, we were brought up the exact same way. We're only 2 years apart. Our parents bloody dressed us the same. But Lottie is incredibly risk averse. She loves the whole 9 to 5, everything being very, very structured. Whereas I am completely different. And it is important to know that and understand that and that is okay.
Yeah. Do you remember I was watching something on Bloomberg a couple of weeks ago, and it was this lady, I can't remember who she was. She was a CEO of some company here in the UK, and she started a fund because there's not enough women entrepreneurs in the UK. Right, and there was percentages up, and it was comparing it to America. Right,
it's just the weirdest thing we've ever seen.
And America was something like there's 37% of CEOs in America are women that are, you know, self-started businesses and stuff like that. In the UK, it's only like 14%. I don't know if that's the right things, just for quoting. Right, I want to get that number up to that. You cannot force. No,
you can't. I thought, what a pointless. Maybe because we weren't like sitting down watching it like properly. It was just like on in the background. Maybe we picked it up wrong, but I was like, what a pointless thing. Like, there's not enough female entrepreneurs. Maybe that's because they don't want to be. Like, I would actually argue that the women tend to be a lot more ingenuitive. Like, perfect example, my mum, when I was younger, 2 things that she did that were kind of entrepreneurial. Dorling Kindersley parties.
What?
If you know, you know. You don't, do you?
Is this like a Girl Scout thing?
And then Tupperware parties.
Oh, right.
No, it was like another version of like Avon or whatever, Body Shop, you know, where it was essentially MLM, wasn't it? But yeah, so she would have Dorling Kindersley parties, which were books, and then Tupperware parties, which was obviously Tupperware, and, you know, people would buy that and stuff. Women are really, really good at that type of thing. But
do you know that Tupperware parties, they bring them as like a free gift when you buy a vibrator? That's what I was back in the day. It was basically Ann Summers. But they would give you a free Tupperware, so your husband would think you were getting Tupperware?
That's not true.
Yeah. 100%. It's Ann Summers parties, but you get a free Tupperware. So your husband thinks you're going to be making him food with that, but you've got a vibrator.
Are you actually lying right now?
No.
So you can ask Carrie then.
Oh, I shall not be asking Carrie. Tomorrow, right, we're going to wrap this podcast up in a minute, and I'm going to ask you what you're doing tomorrow, and I'll tell you, I am not going to your parents. I'll drop you off your parents. I'll go get the grandfather clock. I'll come back. I'll pick you up and then we can go. Right? But yeah,
I'm not sure that's true. Are you actually? You're talking facts right now.
As far as I'm aware, that's what happened. And if it's not, then I just
someone has lied to you.
But it's a great cover story.
But yeah, I thought that was so weird as well. Like, you can't be forcing people to do things that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
And whilst I have said that women tend to be they're quite ingenuitive, in those ways, I would say that is entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
They've always been really good at finding side things because obviously traditionally women were homemakers.
And they would have something on the side.
Yeah. But a lot of women will also be more risk averse because they are the homemakers and a lot of them are mothers and they want to protect their nest that they've made.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Also, it's like, if I'm honest with you, like my dad had loads and loads of businesses before I came along, you know. He's going to settle down as he got older. But my mom stayed at home the whole entire time. And the nest was fine. The home was fine. You know, my dad was out causing mayhem. Home was fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's, I hate to say it, still the case for a lot of people, you know. And I think maybe that's where the numbers are skewed because a lot of people are still either homemakers or, you know, they'll have kids, but they'll have a full-time job, but they're still a homemaker. You know, they don't have that risk tolerance because if they have the 9 to 5, like Lottie, for example, she knows that she's always going to have a roof over those kids' heads. That's completely fine. That's okay. You can't force people to be an entrepreneur if it's not within their remit.
I felt like again, maybe we just heard wrong, but I feel like a better angle would be
nourishing.
Supporting female entrepreneurs because like all the things we've just discussed, you know, with them being mothers and stuff like that, it's a lot harder, childcare, especially if they're a single mother, etc., etc. Not like forcing women to become entrepreneurs.
Okay, it wasn't like slave labor. It was more of I will create more entrepreneurs. You can't create something that is not naturally within someone.
No, yeah, for sure, because it's never gonna fail. Like you need to be an entrepreneur. You need to have that natural ability to go out, to try, and kind of to succeed. Nobody else can come along and create that.
And the thing with entrepreneurs is, I hate the word entrepreneur.
It's gross, isn't it?
It is, but I have to pigeonhole it. You can't set out to be one. You know, it just comes naturally. You fall into it. You fall into a situation.
Nobody, like, I bet at school it probably is a thing these days, but when I was like at school, it's like, what do you want to be? And I was like, a lawyer or an accountant, not like
likewise.
An entrepreneur.
Yeah. But now it's
that's the equivalent, right? Say if somebody said that back when we were younger, some people would say that, but probably not very many. It's this equivalent of people being today like, I want to be a YouTuber.
An influencer.
Yeah. It's not a real thing.
Gross.
Yeah.
Well, currently on YouTube. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon.
I mean, some people make a living out of it, but in very, very small percentage of people who are on YouTube make good monies.
Hopefully you've got YouTube Premium. You don't have to watch the ads all the way through our podcast. Yeah, and if you're listening on audio format, hopefully you've got Wondery Plus. No, I'm kidding. That would be a great gig to get on Wondery.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Why?
I can't say.
Oh, in case we get approached by Wondery and then you've shot them down.
For the 200 people that are listening, yeah.
On audio format, hundreds more.
Podcast, on my podcast, one of the podcasts I listened to, they were on Wondery and they've recently come off, and as I understand, they've had a really, really bad experience being with them.
Right, okay.
They're on Sirius now, and they're really happy.
This girl Alex that I was talking about, she's got a deal with Sirius.
There you go.
We subscribe to Sirius XM.
Their experience, I think, was that they were very, very controlled and they were incredibly unhappy there.
So I wonder if she's moved to this guy. I feel like he was a sports commentator on ESPN in America and got chopped off it. He went and had his own podcast, done 126 episodes, and then within that time, he now has... in the last 2 years, he has now got 126 different podcasts. Not he does them, but he signed them up to his thing, and a lot of them have signed up with Sirius XM and stuff away from Spotify. Yeah, stuff like that.
Interesting.
There you go. Honey.
Can we quickly end with what our top tips are to try and help their anxiety?
I was just about to say, honey, can you wrap us up by talking about your top tips? Because I spoke about that the last time. Yeah. Your top tips with getting through anxiety.
So as we've already discussed, don't give anxiety the power. Try your very, very best to push through it and just do those things that make you feel anxious, as long as they are not putting you in an uncomfortable, horrible position. You need to just push through it.
I think get out your comfort zone by doing things. But don't put yourself in a situation that is uncontrollable. Second,
keep reminding yourself that this time will pass. Third, much like Chris was talking about with the depression, something that has helped me so much is an absolute non-negotiable every single day is my omega-3. Now it has to be bioavailable, high potency omega-3.
Do you want to leave a link to the one you
Yes, Hey Nutrition is who we like to use for
leave
that.
a link in the show notes.
And we also do ashwagandha and rhodial as well.
Sometimes,
But the omega-3 is absolutely must
Yeah.
happen every single day without fail. It helped my anxiety so much, and it helped yours as well.
100%.
I know like Laura takes it as well. We can't preach right now, but something that has both helped us very much was exercise. We have been really bad. We've not been to the gym this year.
But not just even exercise, just living a healthier lifestyle, eating healthier, just generally being healthier, I think just makes everyone feel better.
Yeah.
And if you can, we're coming into winter here in the UK, seek sunlight. I think it is one of the most important things. Like literally right now, as soon as I get up, I scruffle the dogs in bed, go for a wee wee. This is wild. I literally go downstairs. I open the door to let them go out for a wee wee, and I try and get into the sunlight instantly if there is available. Now we're now coming into the dark times, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, I hate it."
You should really stand up there with your feet on the ground, on the grass,
Grounding.
to do that grounding thing.
Yeah. So I think my target for 2030 is to move to Arizona
Oh wow!
because it is warmer, it is drier, and there's ground.
His ground. Great. Excellent. What else? Try and get a good night's sleep. Don't go to sleep
100%.
too late. Obviously, that's hard when you've got anxiety and if you're overthinking things. But if you're overthinking things, try and write those things down. Try and watch something to try and take your mind off things, and try and get a good night's sleep, because that is probably the single one thing that's going to benefit your mental.
Sleep is such a drug. Like honestly, you could buy, I don't know, 5 grams of cocaine or take a good 8 hours sleep, and trust me,
5 grams of cocaine.
yeah, the
They
8
could
hours
die.
sleep, the 8 hours sleep will do you much better.
Oh, there
much-
is no doubt about
You'll
that.
feel much better with the 8 hours of sleep.
No doubt about it. But yeah, and if you need to, take SSRIs, take medication for it, and therapy works for a lot of people as well. It's not something that we partake in, but I know a lot of people who have benefited no end from therapy. And just don't be ashamed.
I've looked into therapy. I tried that BetterHelp app, and it's not for me. If I can't talk to you, I can't talk to a stranger. And I know some people. No, well, for me, that's it. If I can't talk to you, I can't talk to a stranger.
Yeah, but the reason you won't want to talk to me is because you'll say things like, I'm too quick to say things back to you, whereas somebody else won't.
I know, honey, but I'm saying to you, like, if I can't talk to you, then who can I talk to? You're like my life partner, my buddy. Do you know what I mean? We wake up together, go to bed together. And by wake up together, I mean she's scrolling TikTok and I have to go wake her up. And go to bed together, well, whatever, you know? But I just think that, like, realistically, if I can't speak to you, then I can't really speak to somebody else. But BetterHelp is a good shout. It's on your phone, an app on your phone.
Do what works for you.
Yeah,
Which
just
leads
do what works for you.
into next week's episode.
Yeah, it's all about do what works for you, actually. How's that hot chocolate working for you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Finished.
I think also just cutting out things like, sugary fizzy drinks. Like the amount of people that have said they've cut them out recently and they feel much better.
What about caffeine?
I can't speak. Do you know, I actually had a long coffee this morning. I
There's
put
a
the coffee
lot of things that Chris does which are really, really bad for his physical and mental
as
health.
I say, not as I do. But caffeine gets me going. It gets me going. It makes me happy throughout the day. And at night time, I crash and fall asleep instantly.
Alcohol, drink less.
Yeah, you should drink less.
I don't drink any caffeine. I can't have caffeine. I have a weird
Intolerance.
intolerance to it. It's only developed in my older age. And alcohol, I cannot sleep at all when
Keeps
I
you
drink.
awake, stimulant.
Yep.
Whereas
Terrible.
a lot of people are snot.
Not me.
Out. Yeah. All right, honey. What are we up to tomorrow? Tell the people at home. Not that they care.
I'm going to quickly go and see my mum. As I said on last week's episode, she just got out of hospital. It's still the same day, so she has just, well, hopefully she's out of hospital. She was waiting for my dad to come and get her.
Last week, I committed a crime.
What was the crime?
We went to a faraway antique shop for the new house, as we do at the weekend, sometimes after we finish recording podcasts. Took the van as well, so I had no excuse. And I've been wanting a grandfather clock because it's a beautiful old house. I just figured I'd
Do you know my parents have seen that grandfather clock?
Have they?
Yeah, they looked at it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
When she was sending me pictures of antiques a few weeks ago, that's
Right.
where they were.
And we were in this antique centre up by Stirling, Perth way, up the
Canada.
Highlands. We had this beautiful chime of
And he literally
ran across the shop.
sprinted
It's like, what the heck
through
is
this
that?
place.
Because we've been looking for I've been looking for a grandfather clock and a barometer and a pool table and stuff like that. But that's by the way. And it was just such a beautiful chime, wasn't it?
was a
It was
nice
it was perfect.
It was
and
just,
I
it
ran
was
across.
soft.
And this was the best one we've seen, and we've seen loads of antique centres, and it was good price, $3.95. I don't know if that's a good price for a grandfather clock, but compared to some of the,
Here's the thing, right? It's probably a good price for the item you're getting, but not many people want a grandfather clock.
it's very true. It's very true. And instantly Rebecca said, the dogs will bark every time it goes off, and it goes off every 15 minutes. But so far I've learned that you can change the mechanism inside to not ding at
My
certain
dad
times.
also did say that the dogs will get used to it.
Yeah.
And just have it somewhere where it's not going to interrupt you.
I was just going to say in the hallway. It's just kind of pleasant. Just that imagine you're
But you
reading
don't want to. I want to hear that when I'm awake, but I don't want to. I don't want to.
No, so you can set it mechanism so it doesn't do it like after say 6
Can
p.m. Yeah. I don't know if this one can, but for the most part you can.
Okay.
So my thought is, imagine a Sunday, right? And this is going to be great for your mental health. It's a Sunday. I've made you a decaf coffee and a croissant. And there's a little bit of Nutella inside of the plate that you can dip your a little bit of that stimulant. And I'm sitting with a coffee and I'm reading a book.
Stimulant.
Chocolate. Cocoa beans.
Okay.
And I'm sitting across from you reading a book.
Are we?
And I'm
Have we
reading
got
out to you.
a roaring fire?
Roaring fire, of course. And I'm reading some of the paragraphs out to you.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's an erotic, steamy novel to get you in the mood.
Jesus!
Because your libido is terrible, right?
No,
Now
thank you.
here's ding, ding,
You had me up until erotic novel.
ding, 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 ding. Sorry, that's a cat. That's a caffeine kicking in. Anyway, on that note, honey, now that the listeners have also unsubscribed.
I know. They're like, wow, we're so depressed after these last 2 episodes.
Jesus Christ.
So they're terrible.
Yeah. The thing is, when people listen to this, bawling their eyes out and they're all depressed, people be sunning up in Miami, like, hey, it's 11 a.m. Tequila.
Oh, I hope.
right.
I hope. That's my anxiety right now.
If you're on the plane, there's probably not any food for you or drink or anything. You won't get those little salt and pepper shakers. Oh, damn.
Oh well.
Okay, honey, on that depressing note, can you get us out of here?
As always, guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Comment below what we should talk about next, and make sure you share it on your social media to be in with a chance of winning a £50 voucher.
Tuning in alone Sunday, all the tea getting spilled. Nail text talking, yeah, keeping it real, y'all gon' feel. From designs to the drama, every secret they reveal. Stay sharp, stay tuned, man, you know it's the deal.